Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The olive tree is seeing continued support even when they were closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. With the opening of the new Reclaim store, business has been getting back to normal. Connor Chan has more.
I'm very pleased to be joined with Becky Shilley, the Executive Director for the Olive Tree here in Lloydminster. So, Becky, I guess just first off, give us a little bit of an update on how the business has been since being part of that Phase 2 reopening plan for Saskatchewan.
It's been very busy, to say the least. We reopened the thrift store on the 19th, and we've been running nonstop since then. Lots of familiar faces and some new people that we're happy to be able to see again. And because we were accepting donations when we were closed, we definitely have a lot of stock to get out. So we're happy to be able to do that now. We also opened up our new location, Reclaim, on the same day, and it's been very busy too. So it's going really well.
Let's talk about the Reclaim store. I know that was a project that's been in the works for a little bit now. I guess to give a sense of how exciting is it for you to open up that store finally?
Very, yeah, I know. We were hoping to, I think we were going to originally open the end of March. And so, we kind of put it on hold, but it was nice. We had some extra time to set up, and we collected a lot of furniture and appliances and stuff when we were closed. So we were ready for the masses when they came last week.
What was the mood like when you had to be closed for that period of time? Was it more so worried about just your business as a whole, or just kind of general response from the community?
Uncertainty. There was a lot of, questions definitely from everyone. We have bills to pay when we're here and the store's not open making money. So you're worried about being able to pay your staff or utilities or whatever that may be. But we just, kind of geared down a bit and thought, okay, well, we're going to get some work done while we're closed and be ready for when we get to open again.
Yeah, of course, you guys were still taking donations, like you mentioned. Was there still a good supportive community from the community at that time?
Definitely. Wow. Yeah. We we filled the warehouse space. We were sorting as fast as we could. We filled our dining room. We filled our farmers market space. We were working very, very hard while everyone was away. So, but it's, we started backing up here. So we thought, if we don't get to open soon and start selling stuff soon, we might have a problem.
What are the protocols now for people that want to come into the Olive Tree? Of course, we do see sometimes there is usually generally a good length of a line outside the door. So what are some protocols now that you follow right now to let people in?
Yeah, we're limiting numbers, 10 people in at a time. We ask that they sanitize their hands when they come in. We're not requiring masks, but they're welcome to wear one if they choose to. And everything we hold for 3 days. So once it's cleaned and priced, we put it aside. And 3 days later, we'll stock it in the store. So we're doing what we need to do to keep our staff and volunteers and customers all safe.
Is there still a demand for donations, even though I know you mentioned that, you've been overwhelmed with support during the time you were closed? So is there still a demand for you guys to still accept some food donations as well as clothes maybe?
Definitely. Food donations are important. We've also done really well at the new location, and we need some larger donations such as couches and fridges, appliances, electronics, that sort of thing, home goods. But we never turn anything down. So we're accepting all kinds of donations. We also offer a pickup service for everything if someone can't get down themselves.
Well, Becky, I really appreciate your time chatting with us today. It's great to see that you guys are back up and running and doing fairly well, despite being closed for that period of time. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Joining me now is Jason Yoakum. He's the CEO of the Saskatchewan Realtors Association. Thanks for taking some time to talk with me today.
You're welcome, Chase. Happy to be here.
So we're talking about the relaunch of open houses in Saskatchewan. It's kind of an exciting time as some businesses start to reopen. Can you just talk to me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So if we go back to our open houses early in March, when this pandemic became fairly apparent in the province and the province had gone to that state of emergency, we felt it was important to protect the consumer and protect our members by essentially banning open houses for the time being until further notice. And I think what that did is instilled some confidence in the consumer, in our industry, and our ability to take necessary steps to protect them. So Now that the province is reopening and going through their different phases, we felt it's a good time to also start to open up the open houses again, but provide certain requirements from our members to ensure that that process is done in a safe manner.
And so what are the kind of safety procedures that you have in place as realtors in Saskatchewan to make sure that when you're doing open houses that they're safe for everyone?
So when it comes to open houses, what we're doing is asking the members to post a notice on the door, and the people that would like to see the house would have to come and text that member in the house and take a position in a queue. When they do go through the home, we ask that only 2 people accompany the realtor through that property. We ask that they leave their footwear on and or wear booties if available. We also would like the realtor to be the one to open closet doors, turn on lights, those types of things, and not have the general public going through and doing those types of things. We also ask that the buyers that are coming through looking at the home make sure they've sanitized their hands, and just be very careful as they go through that home to protect the homeowner.
And how important is it for realtors to be able to do open houses now? Does it really help to sell homes?
I think it's very important to be able to get the buyers into those homes. Our industry's changed a lot, and we've been very adoptive in the last few years with technology, being able to do virtual open houses, virtual tours, Facebook Live tours, that type of thing. But at the end of the day, when it comes to making a decision in one of the most important purchases of most of our lives, it's good to see that product physically and be able to walk through that home to confirm the decision that they're making.
And obviously, this has been a difficult time for a lot of industries, but kind of looking ahead as things start to reopen as we go into the summer, how do you think the housing market's going to be like in Saskatchewan after this pandemic?
That's a very good question. When we first faced this pandemic in March, we were quite concerned that the number of sales transactions would drop off significantly in the 70 to 75% range. In March, our numbers were good, but in April, we were about 50% of the transactions we did in April of 2019, which wasn't quite as bad as we expected. And we attribute that, I think, to taking necessary steps to protect consumers so they felt comfortable leaving their homes on the market and allowing people to come through and have a view of the property. And when I looked at the numbers just a couple days ago for May compared to May of 2019, we're only down about 20% on our sales transactions. So I think overall we've weathered quite well. And any of that pent up demand that was postponed in April, I think we'll see that happening in the next couple of months.
All right. Thank you for taking some time to talk with me. Before we go, is there anything else you want to add?
I think it's important that consumers recognize when they get back out in the marketplace that our pricing is good in this province. Interest rates are low. As far as a time to buy, I think it's an ideal time for the consumer to be out there looking for that property, making that move as we recover and start opening things up.
All right. Thank you. So, thank you for taking some time to talk with me today, and have a good day.
I'm joined today by Josie Van Lent with Lakeland College. Josie, thank you for taking the time with me today once again. And now Lakeland College will be receiving $1.8 million in funding here over the next 3 years. Can you just tell me about the importance of that funding and what it does mean to the school?
So we're really happy to report that we received, in total, the funding package will be $1.8 million. 900,000 of that is from NSERC, the National Research Council, Science and Research Council. And so it amounts to, it's a 3-year project. The theme of the project is agriculture, innovation and technology and sustainability. And we're very thankful to NSERC for funding our next round of, it's called the IE Extend. So we had a significant NSERC grant of just over $2 million for 5 years. And so this is really an extension of that funding and of that grant.
So now with this money, will that be used to kind of extend some of the projects that you guys had already started with the previous funding as well?
Yeah, we have, I would say, 2 primary areas of in terms of the research we're doing that we're going to be expanding on. And one of those is in crop research. So we will be hiring another crop scientist who will focus on broadleaf crops such as canola and pulses and other crops that are significant to this region. So the other part of the funding will go towards livestock research associate as well as livestock technician. So primarily the funding is aimed at building capacity on the research side in human resources, which we really need. We're a pretty small team. We actually have more requests for research than what we're able to currently host. So we're really excited. This will definitely allow us to expand. And of course, canola and pulses are significant crops in this area. And we also are focused on feed efficiency and technologies, new technologies on the livestock side, including some genomic technologies. And those are really important to our region as well.
And now you just mentioned there the importance of these applied research projects. So not only for Lakeland College, but how important are these also for the industry as a whole?
Really important to the industry as a whole. All of the projects that will be embedded in this funding actually have strong industry support. And so we're really pleased with the support that we received from producer organizations such as the Canadian Canola Council, Alberta Pulse Growers, Alberta Canola, Alberta Wheat, Alberta Barley. So a lot of the producer organizations supported our NSERC grant, as well as the Canadian Angus Association, Charolais Association, private companies like BASF, Mosaic, and a number of others. So yeah, really, really impressed with the industry support we've received. And we will be working with all of these partners in different projects with this NSERC grant funding.
Now you brought up the beef side as well. They will be receiving some of that funding. So can you just tell me about the work they'll be doing, especially within the industry with some of this funding?
So basically, our research is really about commercial agriculture and productivity, economics, and sustainability of commercial agriculture. We're also very focused on the applied side, which is really research that hits the ground at the farm level and proof of concept work. So there's some fantastic research in the province, and where our role is really to research it at a farm level. And with our student managed farm, the land base we have and the livestock units we have, we're very suited to that kind of research. So we're really pleased to be working at that level with these industry partners.
All right, Josie, great to hear from you once again. Thank you so much for your time here today.
Dan Davidson is joining us here today on Primetime Local News. Dan, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. You said you're in your home studio today. Well, what's happening there?
Yeah, I'm just working on some new music. It kind of seems to be, this is my new normal. Is usually I have my daughters, but our day home lady is just taking my kids again for a couple days a week. So I have a couple days where I can get some stuff done during the day. But typically my day looks like full-on dad duty all day long, and then at night I go to the studio and work. So it's odd. I've never actually been busier, which is really completely bizarre. But I'm producing lots, working on a record for a girl in Australia and a rock band from Saskatoon and a singer from Fort McMurray and just a ton of stuff. Some of my own stuff, obviously. I've been working a lot on that and new content. So it's been a crazy ride, a couple of these, doing a little bit of these online live shows, and not too many, but enough that whetting people's appetites, I hope.
And everything is so different now, Dan, especially over the past couple of months here, obviously. Artists are having to find ways to adapt. You obviously said you're busy. Do you see a return to maybe a new way of doing live concerts anytime soon? Has that been discussed, even in your circles, or is it still too early for something like that?
A lot of people are saying it's too early, and anything that's sizable, like any festivals or arena shows or anything like that, are not happening for a year. Like, it's just not. But we're going to start seeing this summer small shows, some cover band gigs and things like that. I think will be coming up, so people will be able to find live music. It just won't be at the same capacity as it used to. So it puts people like me in a bit of a weird spot, because that's how we make money, as we go when we play these kind of larger shows. But yeah, so it's not a whole lot of bar gigs for me, and it makes it interesting. It's the first summer I've had, and I don't even know how long, where I'm going to be pretty much wide open on the calendar. So yeah, everyone's finding new ways to come at it. Like I did that Dieselbird Digital Music Festival. We're in the shirt today, actually. And that turned out really great. We were kind of the first ones to the party on the digital live streaming show, digital live streaming festival. We were the first ones in Canada to do it, and it was pretty amazing. We had Josh Ramsey from Mariners Trench, and Brett Kissel, and Dallas Smith, and Tyler Shaw and Sean Hook, and just tons of #1 having gold selling Juno winning artists on the bill. So it was a lot of fun for me, and really cool to put that together and kind of introduce that to the live streaming world in Canada. But since then, it's kind of all we see on Instagram is nonstop people going live, and personally, I'm kind of sick of it. Yeah.
Well, I see you did take some time to make a special quarantine video for No Last Call, which is quite amazing. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, they need to check it out. Tell me about how you had to do that, because obviously you couldn't bring the band members together. So how did you work all that video together?
Well, I kind of figured like that most artists in my world are not really able to do music videos on their own, just from a technical standpoint even. But it kind of led me to think like, there's a bit of an opportunity here. I can keep pumping out this kind of stuff, and maybe continue to hopefully push the envelope with the industry and content making and things like that. So I have a green screen studio right outside of where I record it. At downtown, I have a studio. And my video guy, Travis, shares an office with me. So he might be the only human I've seen other than my family since this COVID thing started. And so we just set up the green screen one day, and I emptied out my garage with all the wackiest stuff I could find, and we got all my costumes, and I just set it all up and shot in front of a green screen. And the funny thing is about these kinds of videos, when you're doing something ridiculous, is you never know if it's funny until you edit the video. So I just felt like a moron for a couple days, and then we got it back, and it's like, okay, it's funny enough.
How are you seeing music streams, Dan, during this time? There are a lot of people that have a lot of time on their hands. Has there been an uptick in music streams of your songs? And can you coordinate the two together, or do you think it's just a fact where you're putting stuff out and people are giving you more and more attention?
I'm not sure if it's correlated to the COVID thing or not, but yeah, I've been working really hard over the last year on consistency and making sure that if there is an artist out there that's giving the most content in Canada, I want to be that artist. So every month I'm doing something new, whether it's a song from me, like an original single, or if it's a piece of viral material, like I did those bluegrass covers, and I did a fake infomercial for a non-existent Christmas album. Things like that. So I just want to express some personality and have some fun, but at the same time make it lateral to music, and if it's not one of my own songs or videos. So I think I'm seeing growth from that strategy, and I'm not sure if it's related to COVID, but hopefully either way it's growing.
So what can we expect to see from you, Dan, over the next couple of months here? I know you obviously said you're busy. Are you working on stuff for yourself that will be coming out soon, or is that something for the near future?
Yeah, I'm working on a new song for July, and so it's pretty much every second month I'm going to be having a new release, which makes it really interesting when it comes to applying for awards and grants and stuff, because I don't really do records anymore. I just don't really know why people do records at all. But it's hard for me to qualify for these awards because I'm just putting out singles nonstop. But I'm thinking, my strategy is seeing that growth and seeing my fans dig in a little bit harder has been kind of the big payoff for me, and so that's what I plan to keep doing. I feel like it's working, and we're getting a lot of attention online. My last 2 videos have gotten like 100,000 views on Facebook in a week, so it's happening, yeah, and it's exciting to me because my favorite part about this whole job is just being able to have an outlet to express some personality and meet some people and chat with some people and have some fun.
Well, Dan, thank you as always for taking time to talk to us. I know that you said you got a lot of things on the go, and keep us posted. We always like to check out because we never know what to expect. I'll be honest with you, from video to video. It's very entertaining and just super awesome to speak with you. So thank you once again, and good luck through the rest of this. I hope that we can see some positive changes for everybody in the next little bit here.
I hope so too. Yeah, it was always a pleasure. I love checking in with you guys. So anytime you need anything, make sure to give me a little Skype call.
All right. Thanks, Dan. You have a great day.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm joined here with Dr. Mukhtar Ali with the Midwest Medical Clinic here in Lloydminster. Now, you told me on the phone that you guys didn't actually have to close when everything happened, but you still are following the advice of the medical associations in Alberta.
That is correct. So essentially, when the public health officers or the medical officers for health got in touch with all of the physicians in Alberta and also in Saskatchewan, we followed that advice pretty promptly. And that included trying to make sure that we installed certain measures to try and protect our patients.
And for you guys, what can patients expect when they really come into the clinic?
So what you'll notice straight away is you'll notice that we're all wearing masks for the protection of our patients. You'll also notice that our waiting rooms are now a little less furnished as they were previously. Essentially, there are less waiting areas, and there's the mandatory, or the recommended, I should say, 2-meter spacing between chairs within the waiting room. The other thing that you'll notice that the reception areas are essentially protecting both staff and patient using screens, and pretty much what you'll see in the supermarkets to protect cashiers.
And
otherwise it's pretty much business as usual, as long as you can get over the fact that your physician is going to be wearing a mask while they're consulting with you.
And if patients come in, will they have to fill out a questionnaire beforehand, kind of, if anything, regarding COVID-19?
Yeah, so essentially what we are doing and what we have been doing for quite a while throughout this whole pandemic is we have been asking our patients to be upfront and honest with us with regards to information regarding their health. And so we've been phoning patients, and we've also been asking patients when they come in whether they may well be at risk of having a viral illness, which could include COVID-19. And so that would include asking them whether they've been traveling in the last 14 days, or whether they've got any symptoms that are consistent with COVID-19, or if they've been with somebody in close proximity who may also have those symptoms. And in that case, then we're then trying to work out ways that we can better serve them to ensure that they get the care that they need.
Now, will patients see more staggered appointments if they are looking to book one?
So essentially, what we're blessed with here is that we are able to connect with patients by phone and virtually. So essentially what they'll find that although, yes, there are less people in the waiting room, they should still have the same amount of access that they have had previously. It's just that they may well be required to maybe wait in the car until the space comes up in the consulting.
Now, you mentioned the virtual appointments. Can you go into a bit of detail on how that works?
Well, like our meeting today is remotely. So we have got the ability to consult with our patients virtually, and that certainly does help in that you can actually have a look at the patient's symptoms directly, and when they're describing a rash, it does help. And essentially, they're able to connect with that. When they book an appointment, they can actually ask for a virtual appointment, and we use a approved video conferencing tool that is provided by our EMR provider to enable us to do that. And that, I think, does help sort of with regards to getting a grasp as to what's troubling our patients. As they say, a picture paints 1,000 words.
Now, with the pandemic, some people are still scared to, go to doctors' offices or go to the hospital. What would you really say to them?
Well, fear is a difficult thing. I think, it's one of those things that sometimes can stop us doing what we know we should be doing. And certainly when it comes to one's health, what I would advise is that you need to, consider the impact on your health if you don't go and see your physician to seek help for those symptoms that may well escalate into something else. What I would say is that if you are having any doubts and you're worried that perhaps, do your symptoms justify coming in to see the physician, then perhaps the virtual consult or a telephone consult would enable you to actually bounce those ideas off your physician and may well put your mind at rest that, hey, you know what, maybe I do need to go in to see the doctor, and maybe the risk of going out into public places is justified. However, I would say that the risk of contracting COVID-19 in Lloydminster is very low at the moment.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Ali.
You're welcome. You have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Joining me today is defenseman for the Spokane Chiefs, their captain, as well as Lloydminster native Ty Smith. Ty, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, Ty, you had an unbelievable season, and you've been recognized with it now, winning the WHL's Top Defenseman Award, the Bill Hunter Award, for the second year in a row. What does that mean to yourself?
Yeah, it's definitely means a lot. It's a pretty cool award to have received. This year, obviously, there was a lot of great defensemen in the league, so being able to, I guess, be selected for that award means a lot, considering all the great players that are out there. But I mean, I was pretty fortunate to have played on a good team this year in Spokane, and I had great teammates and coaches, so I definitely kind of owe a lot of success to those guys.
Now, your points per game went up from last year at 1.28 points per game versus 1.21. And as well, you had quite a bigger role with the World Junior team. What was that World Junior experience like?
Yeah, the World Juniors was a pretty crazy experience. We had a great group of guys that this year, and it was definitely a ton of fun being able to win gold and kind of the sequence of events, I guess, that happened in the gold medal game there were pretty crazy. So I'm definitely fortunate to have been on a team that was fortunate enough to do that. But I mean, just kind of responding from the year before, having in Vancouver and losing in the quarters to Finland with the whole broken stick thing in overtime. Obviously, that was heartbreaking and a big kind of experience for myself and the other guys that were fortunate enough to return. I guess we kind of learned from that, and we're fortunate to win it this year. It was a ton of fun, and it's something I'll definitely remember, and it's probably one of my favorite hockey moments to date.
What was going through your mind when the puck hit the camera?
I mean, I didn't know it hit the camera at first. I was like, oh no, that's not good, and I thought it went straight over, and then I kind of heard it hit the camera from, I can't remember if it was our coaches or the ref or whoever, but I mean, I was just like, that's a crazy bounce, and obviously the boys were pretty excited about that, and I mean, I guess we took advantage of that, and were able to win it.
Now, for yourself, you're also nominated for the CHL Top Defenseman Award. What is that honor like for yourself?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool award as well. Obviously, there's some guys that had great years across the CHL, and being able to win it last year was a pretty cool thing for myself. But I mean, this year I guess we'll see how it goes. But I mean, I'm pretty happy to be in the situation or have a chance to win it again. But you never know. There's guys from other leagues that obviously did really well this year. So we'll see how it goes. I guess there's not too much. I don't know when they're announcing or anything like that either.
Now, obviously, season cut down. What was going through your mind at the time when the season was put on hold?
Yeah, that was it was pretty crazy. It happened pretty quick. We were, I think we finished the game, and then the next day it was off, and the day after we were supposed to come in and have a workout and a practice to play Portland the day after, and I think the night before that, there was some of my buddies from Portland were saying that they were told they're not coming on the trip, so that was the first kind of thing that obviously was a bit of a red flag. And then we came into the rink the next day, and I walked into the rink, and my coach pulled me in and kind of talked to me and said, just get all the guys to sit in the dressing room when they get here. So we all sat there, which was obviously knew something was going on. We were supposed to be working out, and then he kind of just said, for today, everyone's going home, and you're not allowed to come to the rink for the next couple of days. And then I think it was like a day or two after that, he called me and said, can you get all the guys down to the rink right away? And then we kind of got there, packed all our stuff up, said our goodbyes, and we were on the road the next day. So it was a really quick turnaround, and obviously it was pretty tough for our group. We were rolling along pretty well there. We were on a 10-game winning streak. We won 15 of our last 16, and I think we were in 4th in the league at the time. So it was pretty devastating for our group. I mean, it would have been fun to see how things would have ended up in the playoffs with the way we were playing and the way things were going.
Well, Ty, I appreciate you taking this time with us and giving us a little bit of insight from your season this year.